Okay, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are on this fine day. I am Aaron Zero, and we are continuing this replay analysis of the of Penn Island's run during the Tier 5 division of the Southeast Asia Battle Cup, which took place yesterday evening. So, at request, of course, of one of the players here, I've decided to cast this game, for the Dota, for the content. You gotta do it for the content, man. So, once again, we'll be following the journey of Penn Island with Zelich, Moonsilver, J-Bud, Chesses, and Emperor. This time taking on Team Kick with Heart, Onichan, Captain Kuran, Ponch, and Empus. So, Kick does immediately kick out the Silencer. We don't want you in this game. Of course, Silencer being one of the best and most disruptive supports here in this current metagame. So, reserve time is now being used by Penn Island. Let's see how they're gonna parlay this. They do ban out the Clinks though, so interesting that they ban out the Clink. Clinks is really a contested hero in Captain's mode. He is very difficult to deal with, or he is difficult to deal with if you let him get off the farm. But typically in Captain's mode, where it's a lot more coordinated, Clinks doesn't have many avenues to hide. Is much easily caught out if you just get a good rotation and a dust. So last game, Penn Island comes back from the depths of defeat to claim a victory over the first time B Cup Battle Cup winners. Can they repeat the success of their last game against Team Kick, who is also made the semifinals of their bracket? And Kick, um, they're looking to ban out really cancer heroes in general. They have banned out the Venomancer instead. Same with Penn Island, though, responding with that Viper ban, so no poison allowed on my team. Kick immediately picking out the Jakiro, one of the strongest supports here in the current batch, with the enhancements to its kit given by the one and only Ice Frog himself. Penn Island respond with the Rubik, a strong laner, who can transition well to the mid, who has great scaling with his ultimate. Great all-around hero for Penn Island to take, and can be very versatile. You can play him in a variety of positions. Um, Typically, he can be a support. He's also seen play as an off lane. He's also seen play as a mid. So, good flex pick for Penn Island. They will follow this up once again with the Snapfire. So, good old Granny teaming up with the Crazy Wizard, and here in the bottom lane, here in the dire side, Kick respond with the Earthshaker. So the the big bad bull joins up with the dangerous and devious dragon himself. Dragons, I'd say. Of course, since Shigiro has two heads, and and like the song says, two heads are better than one. Well, it depends on the heads, of course. Anyway, second phase bans are starting to come in for both sides. Kick is going for a ton of magic damage, but same thing with Penn Island. Um, you have magic damage, you have stun, you have utility with telekinesis, with the fire staff cookie. So I guess a common theme is that it's kind of more like directed stuns. I guess where you can have both teams stun up, or rather, you can have both teams or both players on the side of Penn Island stun in a direction, I'd say, or either reposition someone for the stun or reposition a creep for a stun. It's good stuff. Kick, meanwhile, is a bit more simplistic. They're kind of like ranged skill shotty stuns, especially the Ice Path on the Jakiro. Though Earthshaker with the Fisher should be able to help, but it's the common theme. No stuns in the line. It might be difficult to hit, might be, but we'll see how this goes. Nature's Prophet immediately being banned out by Kick. They're not a fan of this global presence on the side of this Nature's Prophet. It has also been a pretty strong hero here in the meta game of Captain's mode, with its ability to push out the map, to be able to go in anywhere and immediately turn a fight into a full 4-on-5. Good stuff. Penn Island responds by banning the Dark Willow. Okay, Dark Willow is out. Same thing with Of course, it probably just means just banning out heroes that didn't like to go up against, and of course, Dark Willow is still pretty good, I'd say. Kick banning the lone druid, so they are doing their homework. They have seen the devastation that Moon Silver was able to land on his drone druid the last game. Pen Island respond with the Drow Ranger bat, which is I think, a bit more typical as compared to the normal. I'd say it's a bit more typical. They ban out the Drow as compared to a lone druid, which hasn't really seen much play outside of course, Mr. Moon Silver, one of his favorite heroes. So, Kick doing their homework on this one. We are entering reserve time, and Kick ban out the Storm Spirit. So they did see the previous game and think, okay, let's just look for heroes that did really well in their last game. And oddly enough, these are the two I picked as my MVPs during game one. So respect bans for Kick banning out the Storm Spirit and the Lone Druid. Pen Island respond by banning the Shadow Fiend, which did give um, Zilash, who was playing mid last game, ton of fits in his game. So Witch Doctor is now picked out on the side of Pen Island. With Io is still on the table. Is this finally the game we get to see the Witch Doctor Io that Chessis does love to run on his heroes? We're about to find out. Kick is deliberating what they're going to be revealing for their second phase. Most likely, maybe their carry and their off lane, typically, because usually you love to pick mid last. It's lane's usually easily countered. So, and since they become one after the other, it doesn't really matter what order you do it, since you're gonna know anyway before Pen Island makes their last pick of phase two. 1 minute approaching on kick, and that's select, and they select the Razor. Wow, interesting. I haven't seen much Razor play since his nerfs from the last patch, but it doesn't mean that just because the Bloodstone build isn't working anymore, it doesn't mean that you can't use it, because people still do use it. There is some viability to the Bloodstone build, and B, you can also go on his normal build, which is like Yules, Falcon Blade, BKB, Refresher, Aghanim Scepter, his old standard build, which relies more on static link to get damage rather than his just dealing magic damage and just being really, really annoyingly survivable. Um, next phase pick is coming for Team Kick. Razor may be coming for the off lane, I suppose. It depends what kind of pick they're looking at in this next one. I think they'll be picking their safe lane this one probably. Nope, they're picking up their mid in the Zeus. So they're still hiding their carry. So I think this Ranger's gonna go off lane, he can go carry. It's pretty flexible, I'd say. Plus, the Zeus, global presence, lots of match damage, lane dominator as well. Does have that evasiveness with the Super Mario jump, aka the heavenly jump. So Zeus, though, is an interesting pick, and Pen Island is now picking. They have and tipped into their reserve time. Who do we pick out here? The Lone Druid is down though, so and Pen Island is pretty not so tanky. They have three fragile backliners. Of course, Witch Doctor does have heal, and Snapfire is a tank, or not really a tank. It is a strength healer, so it does have some, but not that great survivability as compared to, like, say, your normal like, say, your Earthshaker here, who is a bit more tankier than a Snapfire, especially if we're gonna see either a Snapfire support or probably a Snapfire lane, I'd say. I don't know. My brain is still waking up. I must have forgotten to take my morning coffee today, so I'm a bit slow, and I'm a bit slow in breaking down what both teams are intending. I apologize. Pen Island take up the Faceless Void. Wow, this is gonna be really good. All of a sudden, the draft makes sense. Now you have the setup. Now you have the Chrono, which was going to enable all of this. The Mortimer's Kisses, the Death Ward, especially from Witch Doctor. This is just a great pick from Pen Island. Last phase picks coming in. Pen Island will be picking out probably their mid laner, but of course they can slot the Snapfire mid. They can slot the Rubik mid if needed. So I think it depends on what Kick goes for this last one. Kick has banned the Ember Spirit. They do theorize that they're going after a mid laner. Pen Island do ban out the Spectre. It makes sense though. With Zeus, you now have some global presence. So let's take out other heroes with global presence as well. They remove the Spectre immediately. They also predict that Kick is probably going to go to the off lane, or rather, this Kick's Razor is going to go to the off lane. So they don't predict it to be carry, I guess. 13 seconds left on the reserve time. They do ban out the Invoker, so they expect Pen Island to be picking a mid for this next one. Pen Island, though, is now on the clock. 20 seconds left on their regular pick time. They do have 44 seconds on their reserve time. Pen Island may be looking to ban out another carry because I think he pretty much telegraphs that carry may be the order of the day for Kick. Of course, since this is an Earthshaker, I think it makes sense enough to pair Earthshaker with Razor. Usually pair Razor with a melee phosphor to have that phosphor like just go ahead and initiate for you while Razor uses static link, does his thing, something like that. So to have so I think the offlane is set with Razor and Earthshaker. Zeus is gonna be their mid, Shakira is gonna be their support. They do ban out the Naga Siren, another really good tanky flash farmer who can set up for team fights, especially with and can synergize as well with the Echo Slam. I think I'm not sure if it was just enemy units or allied units are encountered or just all units. This caught in the area. I will have to check after this game, or maybe during the tooltip itself. Let's see what kind of interactions they'll be looking for in this game. Kick are on the clock. 10 seconds left on their reserve time. Who do they select for their final pick? I'm hoping they pick something that can join the team early, and it is the Abaddon. Abaddon is make an appearance here in Pen Island's game, and he does provide the silence, he provides the spells and the heals, but most importantly, he's going to be providing the damage because he looks to be either their safe laner or their off laner. Though it also means that much of their initiation is definitely going to be coming from this Earthshaker. So lots of pressure on Earthshaker to be able to make plays count. Pen Island now on the clock, 26 seconds left on their reserve time. Who do they end up selecting for this next one? They do have their frontliner in Faceless Void, but not really in the sense of it's a tank, so they'll be really skirting and going on the sidelines. And they pick the Io, finally. Pen Island finally go to their Io Witch Doctor combo. And now both teams immediately picking out the heroes that they want. So Pen Island, I do find it very favorable thanks to this excellent Faceless Void pick. I'm a huge fan of them selecting Faceless Void into this lineup. Now you have all the setup that you need. Plus, if needed, you can also zone out the Abaddon, which is key. If you want to beat an Abaddon, you have to zone him out, especially when he does hit that borrowed time. What I've seen heroes do is that I've seen them either do Yules during borrowed time, which reduces the amount of damage he's gonna take. Other things that you can also disarm him, you can ethereal him, you can ult him, basically just ensure that he doesn't take any damage while he is on borrowed time. And once he is out, he's pretty fragile after that. So it'll be interesting to see how Pen Island play this game against Team Kick. We're just chilling now, waiting for the game to start. Both teams are ready. Our caster is ready, I guess. I forgot to bring my water, so hopefully this won't be such a super long game. I mean, fingers crossed. Last game though was a toughie. It was almost 50 minutes, so it was quiet. It was quite energy to cast. Let's see how this goes down. Okay, let us go now to the rundown where we break down the heroes and the heroes who are running them. On the Radiant side, you have Moonsilver on the Faceless Void, Birthday Boy, aka Zilach on the mid Snapfire, J-Bud on the Witch Doctor, Jesus on the Io, and Emperor on the Rubik. So they'll be running this Io Witch Doctor combo, which they are a fan of. Gives them a ton of healing. On the Dire side, you have Heart on Zeus, Onichan on Razor, Captain Koran on Jakiro, Ponch on Abaddon, and Empus on the Earthshaker. So both teams are positioning to take their respective bounty runes, with Paunch and Captain Koran securing the Dire's top bounty rune, and Emperor and Moonsilver securing their bounty rune as well. Probably not going to be seeing like any kind of rune wars in this one, I guess, because neither team really is a kill threat early on this game, unless of course we get a really good Static Link slash Fissure. Fissure is immediately picked up by Empos, probably looking to make a good disruption on their bounty run, and help them secure another bounty rune for themselves. Meanwhile, though, Moonsilver has positioned up a bit. He doesn't have anything leveled. He's probably waiting for what's going to happen here. So Oni-chan and Heart 2 move in, and they will force him out, and they will take the rune anyway. Even runes going on the side of both teams as we enter our laning phase. Zilech, though, doesn't take caution to the wind anymore. He decides to go early and starts blocking. Same with Mr. Hart, though. But since Hart was a bit late, but Oni-chan does deny, or rather, Emperor does manage to spot out that bounty, that ward, but it is denied. Only over on the mid lane, Hart and Zilach are doing out. Hart has lost the creep dragging battle to Zilach, who will have it on his higher ground, but so far not really affecting him much. He does get a couple of last hits early. Meanwhile, on the top lane, Captain Koran and Paunch dealing with J-Bud and Chesses. Paunch is last hitting pretty well. Let's see, he has like one last hit though, but they're not going to be able to kill this one. Not really a kill lane per se. They don't really have that much mana to save except for Captain Koran's Ice Path, so I think they're going to be playing a bit safe early on. Meanwhile, on the bot lane, Empas and Oni-chan versus Moonsilver and Emperor. Emperor is positioning to pull. Oni-chan is positioning to take this last hit, and Moonsilver does get the deny. Does hit the deny instead though. So, but Moonsilver gets the last hit anyway. On the mid lane, Heart is dropping a bit low, I'd say. Well, not really low. He does have the mana pot working its magic on Mr. Zilach. Zilach, though, does have a Fairy Fire and a couple of tangos if needed to keep himself alive. Moonsilver has managed to push it back to his tower thanks to that excellent pull on the side of Mr. Emperor, but Empaz does weed it out. He's having to pull it towards other creeps. Meanwhile, Captain Koran is trying to take down this off lane, but the healing is putting so much work on the side of is putting in quite an amount of work on the side of the Radiance. So pretty good stuff from the team. Moonsilver and Emperor, I mean, nothing was happening here. They do get the block on the Dire top, on the Dire bottom hard camp jungle, so no more pulls and no more pull disruptions for the side of the Dire. Oni-chan does land the Static Link, but an immediate time walk means that he will be a-okay. Chess and J-Bud continue to lane against Paunch. Paunch, though, is leading this team in last hit, same with his mid. Rather, his mid, though, is having a bit of a difficult time against Mr. Commendable Birthday Boy. Zilach does miss with the Fire Snap Cookie. He does get the flaming jump, heavenly jump, but it lands on the other side of the river. Does he have the mana to take him down? He is aggressively healing with that bottle, but it will not be enough. Level 2 Arc Lightning, not sufficient to take down a pretty tanky Zilach. So good stuff from him, keeping himself alive. That was an interesting play, though, I guess, on the side of Radiant. Meanwhile, Chesses and J-Bot decided to play a bit more aggressively with Paunch this time. Paunch will not have any of it. The Bingo Bangos is locked, and Paunch immediately activates the Fortress Shield to tank up some damage. Dual Breath also comes out for Captain Koran, but it may not be sufficient to do much, I'd say. And Chesses and J-Bot are now pushing pretty heavily thanks to that Voodoo healing, allowing him to heal up his creeps, to make sure he has a large creep wave pushing into the Daru top lane. Moonsilver is now down to half health. He does pop a tango just to keep himself alive. He gives him some health. Empas is the recipient of a tossback with a telekinesis, but he does succeed in his goal of blocking one at time of the camp. So all the teams are like kind of engaging in pleasantries at the moment. Like we're not seeing any kind of significant action. Although we do see a pull attempt on the side of Captain Quran. Captain Quran is caught out by J Bud. He does land the dual breath, but the healing from Jessus and J Bud may be a bit too much. Ponch's courier is killed, and that means his boots is delayed. He does pick up the early bracer though, so that's interesting. We're looking to fight a bit earlier. J Bud though is starting to drop low, and the healing from this may not be sufficient. The Curse of Avernus does come in, and first blood is taken. Chessus is now a man on a run, but he does get the teether off just in time. First blood is given up by the side of the Radiant to the Dire. And once again, another slow start for the side of the Radiant. So, but we'll see. We'll see how they can pull this off. Onichan and Moon 7 Server are just continuing to just be a bit more chill in the bot lane, I guess. Empas is desperately looking for that one ward that's blocking his pull camp. I mean, nobody necessarily need it. It's great that their lane is pushing into the dire bottom tier one anyway, but still feels bad. Feels bad, man. Feels bad. Missing that last hit is on a couple of flag bearer keeps as well. That is a big yikes. Meanwhile, Hart has reached level 5. He's a bit of a ways away to reach level 6. Same thing with Zilach, who is now about to hit level 6 of his own with this one more creep kill. He does have the kisses now. Yes, he has the kisses. But he also has a wand because, of course, this is a Zeus, and Zeus deals quite a lot of magic damage. Meanwhile, the top lane, or rather the bot lane, Empus does manage to take Moon Silver's Courier. Although it doesn't seem to have anything of value, I'd say. So, it's unfortunate. But Moon 7 Silver does pick up the Ring of Health, probably looking towards a Vanguard maybe. Meanwhile, on the mid lane, I guess, let us rewind that and take a look at that fight for ourselves. Mortimer's Kisses has been dropped. A solo kiss is enough to kill Mr. Hart. What a play from Mr. Zilach in attempt both to secure the rune as well as to take out and do a solo kill on his mid laner. Wow, that was quite unexpected on the side of this team. So they have evened out now in terms of the fighting. So good stuff for the side of the Radiant. Empos is now rotated over to the top lane, probably looking to get some stacks. Yep, he does get a stack off on this hard camp. On the hard camp here in the triangle, probably to start enabling his either Ponch or Mr. Onichan. Moonsilver and Onichan are still happily farming away. Moonsilver is working now towards the Vanguard, so going a bit tankier in this game. Probably looking to be a more of an early fighter, I'd say. Meanwhile, Captain Koran is dropping low. The Maledict has been hit, but he does land the Ice Path. Empus does come in to help, and Chessus feels the wrath of God, but not before he helps J-Bud take down Captain Koran. And the silence is now active on Mr. Ponch. And with J-Bud, though, does manage to hit that skill. The skills that kills ills. Fisher is used to block out the Rubik, but it is not enough. J-Bud does end up taking down Ponch. So that is before Ponch has borrowed time. He's like only just a smidgen of experience left before he could have taken borrowed time in that fight. So yikes, a bit of a despair on the side of on the side of the Dire. The Radiant do end up winning out this fight, thanks to them forcing out a couple of rotations. And they do manage to get the kill on Ponch before he turns level 6 and gets that borrowed time that makes him just so tanky. Once again, Mortimer's Kisses is being landed on Mr. Zeus, but Mr. Zeus is unable to dodge it and he dies once again. Those solo kills are starting to do a number on Mr. Zeus. Meanwhile, Chesses and J-Bud still having a grand old time here, while Moon Silver does pick up the Vanguard and is going to the Radiant. This is new. This is quite new, though. Moon Silver is playing more of a tanky frontlining carry, I guess. Going this time, of course, with the Radiance, which is going to help him deal a bit more consistent damage. So it's not going to do wonders for his attack speed, which typically what you build on a Faceless Void. You try to buff his attack speed, but new patch, new build, new rules, new consequences, basically. Ice Path has been landed on both J Bud and Chesses, but this healing may be way too much. Uh, does hit the stack on on Chesses, but he is forced to retreat as they are approaching their tower, and now they suddenly feel confident that okay, you want to take us on? We'll take you on. We'll take you on that bet. Borrowed time has been popped. Bunch is now desperately trying to make use of it, because now he's going to be very, very vulnerable. The Fire Snap cookie is used, but it does not hit. Empos does come in and hits the Fisher as well. Empos may have been saved the life of his core there. 43 seconds left before he gets borrowed time again, but they immediately pushed this out. Like, not much response coming out on the side of Dire. Maybe because, of course, the borrowed time is down, so they don't feel safe. 30 seconds left on borrowed time. Captain Koran has moved in as well. If I were them, I'd probably start making a move, especially as they have 20 seconds left on the Mortimers. His mid not rotating though. He's happy just to stay here in the top. Though they are probably gonna let this top tier 1 go, and they do. First tower has fallen. Ponch has been hit by the Bingo Bangos, the coconuts, but a Fisher from Empos keeps him alive. So both supports now playing around Ponch, trying to keep Ponch alive. Ponch is farming now towards his Talisman of Evasion to hopefully get that Radions, but I think it'll be possible pretty quickly. The mid though is down thanks to the Wrath of God, or rather the Thunder God's Wrath. But once again, solo, solo set of Mortimer's Kisses coming the Zeus's way, and Heart is down. J Butt is dropping low, but Captain Koran does manage to find him and remove him from this earth. So the supports are not playing really close to Ponch at this point. They're just trying to enable their Ponch, which is trying to get him to farm. He does lose not significantly thanks to just dealing with that strong healing lineup from Chess and J Bud in general. So yeah, pretty good stuff. Moon 7 Silver is level 8, but he's gonna attempt on uh, Mr. Razor, but Mr. Razor gets hit with the Chronosphere and the rest of his team. So much healing now going, as well as the stun coming in with the time lock finally being enabled. The telekinesis come in, and the Razor is dead. Razor taken down by a quadrary, a 4-man team fight on the side of team. Apologies. On the side of the Radiants. Good stuff. I'd say they're holding their own, and they're making the right reads pretty quickly, though. I guess it helps though that this time Zealach was able to win mid a lot better than his last game, though. Razor though with that one more jump, but do they have enough to kill him? The healing immediately comes in. Captain Koran is in a spot of trouble. He does hit the Maledict spot on him, and the rest of the team is in chase the spirits to land. Fisher once again coming from Empos, who just seems to be everywhere, trying to make the kind of space. The Death Ward has come, and the Death Ward has taken. Captain Koran falls to J-Bud. And even worse, Zealach does end up taking the mid lane. So Dual Breath is used to slow down the Zeus. Zeus has no hoppity hop for a bit. I'd say. So Zeus is in full retreat. Punch, he gets hit with the Bingo Bangos, but it's only a level 1, I guess. But so he's gonna be fine. It's not gonna be like super tilt with the Bingo Bangos. So far so good. Only a 3k net worth lead, but now they're starting to really go in. The Mortimer's Kisses have come out in order to support this team. The Key God has made his wrath known. Empos does fall anyway, as well as the Chesses, but they also take this mid as well. So whatever job they're doing to try to protect this mid, it's not working, actually. Double kill has been taken by Oni-chan to the Emperor, and now 2k net worth lead on the side of the Dire. Or rather on the Radiant still, actually, but Dire showing signs of life in this one, actually managing to get the initiation on time against the against Radiant. They do manage to kill out their entire backline. They kill out their, I think, the core as well, if I recall correctly. There's also a weird 10 to 5 because Chrono wasn't up yet, so that's about 3 seconds left until he gets Chrono. So I don't think that was a fight that this team had to take. Not necessarily that kind of fight that should be taken by the side of the Radiants. Tier 1 has been pushed out, Tier 2 maybe next. Same thing with mid lane. Mid lane is down on the side of the Dire. Scatter Blast will keep and hold them at bay. Oni-chan is farming up this bot lane. Probably looking for a Moon Silver. Moon Silver doesn't have the damage yet. He doesn't have that Radiance, of course. A pretty slow farm for Mr. Moon Silver in this one as we approach the 15-minute mark of our game. 9-7 lead on the Radiant, 2k net worth as well. Let's take a look at the graph. The graph does favor the side of the Radiant this time, except for Winprob, because Winprob is now still very much even. It's still anyone's game. Chronosphere has been cast on Mr. Razor. Mr. Razor is dead thanks to the arrival of everyone. Everyone does come in to get this Razor kill, and including these two, which has forced to use the Relicate in order to bring J-Bud down to the bot lane. And now Captain Kurami paying for it with his life. The Death Ward immediately comes in, as well as the Maledict. Now let's see if he will indeed concentrate to get any kind of cure for Mankin. Sorry, apologies. I may have dozed off a bit there. Because it is a bit early in the morning for me. Like I said, I haven't had my coffee, so I'm running on just pure love of the game at this point. So apologies for the mumble jumble back there. Let's take a look at the items that each one is building. Moon Silver about to finish the Sacred Relic. Is he able to get it? Probably. Here he should be able to get it. He's still farming towards it. Radiance. Zilech does finish the Boot to Travel, allows him to be a more global presence. And to complement this offlane J-Bod, who does build out the Guardian Greaves. So going for that healing in this one. On the other side of the map, Razor building the Bloodstone build. Razor building the Bloodstone build in the year of our Lord 2023 in patch 7.32e. What a turn of events. Interesting choice to build Bloodstone in a lineup that features a ton of magic damage, but okay. You do you, buddy. You do you. Meanwhile, in the mid lane, Zeus Heart does finish out the Zeus's Ether Lens. Let Legacy dies again. Let's take a look at that and where it went wrong for Mr. Razor. A lot of things apparently. Razor was just a happy Razor, chilling here at the top lane. He doesn't know that he's about to get hit with the Bingo Bangos, with the Maledict, and with the full Death Ward. Just could not get away, and he's like, okay, my time has come. I will accept my demise. He is down. On the bot lane, Empos is just playing serve here with Moon Silver, trying to get the stuns off whenever he can. Meanwhile, let's look at the other carry we haven't talked about, Mr. Abaddon. Abaddon is on his way now towards that Radiance. He does have the Sacred Relic. He's about to go into the Talisman of Evasion, but he may not have the time to, as the Radiant side immediately push out this Dire top tier 2. Same thing with Moon Silver, who is also pushing out this tier 3 thanks to the Time Walk. He is pretty much safe from all the stress, I'd say. The rest of the Dire do come in, but they manage to land the stun on Mr. Razor. Razor, though, may be dead. He only has one level on his third, but he does end up taking the kill, or rather, Heart does take the kill on the Rubik. So Echo Slam has been used on the side of Mr. Empos. Let's take a look at that again. Death Ward instead has been used in order to kill Oni-chan. Oni-chan is fallen. Empos is dropping down low. Bingo Bangos has been used, as well as the spirits just rotating like frenzy. Empos is dead. What a kill. And what a game, what a play from the side of Team Radiant. They knew this probably wasn't a fight they were supposed to take, but they took it anyway, and they probably feel like all the better for it. 18 minutes has elapsed here in this game. It's 5k net worth lead is now advancing to the side of the Radiant. Radiance is now finished on Moon Silver. So let's see what he does with this one. I guess probably to help evade this Abaddon, who also has Radiance. So this is a bit of a Radiance battle. Um, Moonsilver does escape before he gets hit with the full might of that Curse of Avernus. Meanwhile, the top lane is still being pushed out by Zilech and friends. Captain Koran does come in to probably to protect this lane. Macro Pyre is cast out just to force them back. Feels like a pretty desperate move, if anything, but you know, you'll be pretty desperate too. Alright, let's take a look at that one again. Hmm. Okay, so what happened in this fight? So when we last left Moon 7 Silver, he just dodged Curse of Avernus from Mr. Punch. But Punch once again comes in. He hits him, tries to hit him with the Curse of Avernus, doesn't have that kind of attack speed. He does finally silence Moon 7 Silver, but Silver is just hitting away. The Moonlight Shadow does come in. Is it enough to kill him? No. Moon 7 Silver does land the toss, does land the backtrack and the Chronosphere. Punch, remember, has no ult anymore. Punch is dead, and Moon Silver takes the kill. Empas is dropping low. He does have the Maledict used, but the the teleport relocate does send him back, sent to the top lane. Emperor does find the Captain Quran. Quran is being hit out by all of this damage, especially from Mr. Zilech. And this top tier 2 is down pretty early at 19 minutes in. Meanwhile, the safe lane is very well protected. Actually, Moonsilver just chilling in the safe lane. Now he's going for his booties, give him some attack speed, give him some mana switcheroo and stat switcheroo as well. So far so good for the side of Radiant. You're not exactly running away with this game, but they're starting to. It's like the marathon where you're like kind of pacing yourself, you know, before you start revving up. This is it for Team Radiant. Fonzo. So 20 minutes into this game, tier 2s have already begun dropping for the side of both teams, or rather for both teams, but the Tricore putting in work. Captain Corando maybe spitting off more than he can chew. Captain Corando is hit by everything, but he does manage to buy enough time for Zeus to kill his support. Echo Slam is now used on Chesses, but the healing man is just so good thanks to this hero. And now J-Bud may be in trouble. Maybe he is. J-Bud is dead. Eternal Shroud has been picked up by Razor. Probably not going for the Bloodstone this time, but he is going for the BKB in this one. Probably just to help mitigate all the magic damage. I would have preferred for him to take Pipe of Insight, but that's neither here nor there. Punch is working now towards the next part of the build, which is Manta style, because Manta style also applies Curse of Avernus, allowing the Curse of Avernus opponents a lot quicker and a lot longer, I'd say. Meanwhile, in the mid lane, Dagger has been picked up by Mr. Zilech. He is working now on the BKB and then going into the Aghanims to give his Faceless Void another initiate. Doesn't require Time Walk. Speaking of Faceless Void, though, he has stacked up that Bard Camp, which is farming pretty well. He is building now towards the BKB, or to save himself. He already has the damage item that he needs, so, you know, pretty good stuff. Ziyech does see that a stack is here on top lane. They do manage to get the stun thanks to the sharded up Fire Snap Cookie. Onichan activates his Eternal Shroud to give himself some mana, but may not be enough. Moonsilver does hop in. And meanwhile, Ayo and J-Bud do once again go in, and they finally take down the Zeus. Dominating kill streak has been taken by Mr. Emperor against the Zeus. Meanwhile, Punch does take down the top lane in response, but is this going to be sufficient, especially as Radiant is now threatening the tier 2 of the Dire? Another stun, another Fissure, and another thing that Moonsilver is going to have to live with all the stuns being most probably directed onto him because he is the frontline initiate. This one. Moonsilver and the rest of the team, though, are still playing around this triangle. They have now taken the top and mid tier 2s, and they're looking to quickly rotate to tier 3. So just going to box them in, close the map, quickly seize map advantage. This is going to be really, really good for Team Radiant. Team Dire, though, is positioning themselves here in this bottom lane. They're looking for a fight that probably isn't coming because they're just pushing out this tower. Um, Last tower falls, and now they have control of both sides of the map, and they pretty much box in the side of Team Dire, who probably need some sort of avenue at this point in order to get themselves back into the game. Probably like a good initiation from Mr. Empus, who does finally have the dagger, or maybe some good ice path from Mr. Chakiro, who has built the who's built the Urn of Shadows for reasons. Probably it's just to help try to negate this healing on the side of J-Bud and Chester. Speaking of J-Bud, he does have the Guardian Greaves and that Holy Locket Whip, so much heal is going to be coming out of J-Bud in this one. Captain Goran is spotted out by Mr. J-Dub. J-Dub, J-Dub, though, does manage to get the Maledict and the Death Ward off. The healing, though, restores him to full health just as quickly. Captain Goran is dead. The lift has been used on Ponch, and Ponch has been RTZ'd. Ponch is out of this fight for the foreseeable future. The Mortimer Smiths and Kisses are now finally coming in. Moon 7 Silver is godlike. Oni-chan is on the run. He does manage. Oni-chan managed just to get out. Same with Mr. Ponch. Mr. Ponch now and the rest of Team Darmay looks to come back. There is no Chrono anymore, but they do get the Fire Slam cookie on Mr. Oni-chan. And the Echo Slam, a 5-man Echo Slam, has taken out Mr. Birthday Boy, and now the rest of them are on hot pursuit. Moon 7 Silver does manage to land all those skills. The Little Shredder is not enough to save Oni-chan this time. Oni-chan has fallen. Fonch is dropping very, very low. Mr. Let's just dove pretty deep on. Let's dove really, really deep for some reason, and then they're gonna make it work somehow this time. Though they do lose the godlike on Z-Lech, they do get the kill on Ponch. So another push is now on the way on the side of Radiant. This team is looking quite desperate now, especially with 36 seconds, no buyback. How can Radiant salvage this? The obvious choice would be to farm another lane, but not that easy, I'd say, given the fact that the Snapfire does have BOTs, so globals will not be an issue for it going forward. 25 minutes in, tier 3s will be dropping in 2 minutes. The Dire is looking very, 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 very despair. Win probability, according to our Lord and Savior Gaming, is 89%. They land one more good fight. This game, I think, is pretty much over and done with, I'd say. This Dire team is now just effectively turtled into their base. They can't go out to farm. They can't leave the base in order to train, to do competitions, yada yada yada. But needed. This is gonna be very despair. I mean, but it happens. So yeah. Moonsilver does get hit with that full side, but he does manage to surge forward, maybe looking for a Chrono, but Chrono is down by 13 seconds. But the PKB, though, has been used. Oni-chan is falling low. He does have the Maledict and the Ice Path, but finally the lift and the slam. Let's do the jam and hit the slam. Oni-chan is dead once again, 37 seconds with a buyback, though, so we can buy back if needed. And he probably did in about a couple of minutes, as Moonsilver and the rest of Team Radiant are beginning to push down this tier 3 mid quite aggressively. And with all the teams pretty much not being able to do anything about it. And they're just like, okay, we're just going to farm it. We're just going to try to end this, I'd say. Meanwhile, on the other side, they're just looking for any kind of opening at this point. However, Jakiro does get hit with the Big Bangos and the Maledict. The healing really has come through for the side of Team Radiant. The Blessing has been used as well as Borrow Time has been used as well as the Aphotic Shield, or rather the Echo Slam. But the excellent combo has finally been hit, and the big kisses on a Chrono. Wow, jeez, Mr. doing a ton of work. A 2-man Ice Path isn't gonna do much, especially as it's not them hitting the barracks. It's Mr. Moonsilver, and Moonsilver takes it. Are they going to be looking for more? Not bad. And now they're looking to end this game almost immediately. They know 25 seconds, no buyback in 24, or rather, 25 seconds, on no buyback as well on the bartender. So, whoo, nice one. Oni-chan does get the static link up on Moon Silver, but Moon Silver is forced to back off. Um, they decided we're going to go for an easier target, and that's going to be the top tier 3. This is it. Final base defense time. Can the side of Team Kick pull it off? But the ice path is now stolen by Rubik. Rubik now has a long range, so short cooldown, pretty good stun on his own. A deep dive on the side of the Radiant with so much healing once again coming out. Moon Silver though is starting to drop a bit low, but thanks to the healing from Voodoo Restoration, um, it does allow him to continue to fight. Punch has dropped the borrow time. He has no borrow time left. Yet another great 3-man. Um, Ice Path, not as good as the Ice Path, but Ice Path is sufficient to kill his enemies. This lane is now going real bad, real fast for the side of Team Dire, with now both the mid and the top racks now taken. Obviously, you're going to go for the bottom, and the racks is now starting to really melt due to this aggression. And for whatever reason, Punch decided, yeah, F this shit, I'm out. F this shit, I'm out. And he decides to stop pushing up the mid lane for no apparent reason, I guess. Yeah, I think they look pretty much done here. Yeah, I think it's pretty much game, actually. Punch has pretty much left his team to their fate. None of the side of Team Kick has really decided to contest anymore. I think this is pretty much game. Realize we don't have the damage anymore to kill either J-Bud or Chesses, and at the same time, the Radiant has all the damage they need against this team. GG, well played, has been called. This game is over. About exactly 30 minutes in. We take ages to push. That is true. This is not a very strong pushing lineup. Of course, this may be a fake GG because it was immediately cancelled. But there you go. Now it's GG. Okay, Captain Quran is dead. Oni-chan though does get hit with all of the humanity, and as well as Mr. Impas does get hit with the Chronosphere. Mortimer Mercedes is raining down on Mr. Oni-chan, but Mr. Oni-chan will fall anyway. Echo Slam has been used by Impas, but no one is killed. That's how good this healing lineup has been. No one is dead on the side of the Radiant, and they shame them for the fake GG, and then to use the SEA tactics of we say GG, but then we decide to push anyway. Abaddon is engaged in a base race this time. He has been completely ignored, but is this gonna be worth it? Especially as he is not defending his Ancient is down. Remember, this game is defense of the Ancients for a reason, boys. And now his mid may be in trouble. His mid is dead. Mid range Barax goes down the head Radiant, but his Ancient is falling low. Is Punch gonna make the conscious decision to come home? Probably not. He's also done with this game, and he is outie. Penn Island has taken the second game of their Battle Cup series. Great stuff from the side of Penn Island. They've moved a lot quicker. They've gotten the initiates where they've gotten them. Oni-chan really just didn't have any kind of avenue or to get back into this game. And unfortunately, Team Kick will have to eat the L. My MVP for this game has to go to Mr. J-Bud, of course. J-Bud winning that off lane was so key, as well as him being able to heal up his teammates, being able to deal the damage. We had to get all those solo kills, as well as being that backup damage to Moon Silver and hitting those chronos. So good stuff, Mr. J-Bud. You are the king for this game at least. Our sub MVP for this one, of course, has to be Mr. Zilach. Mr. Zilach with the excellent use of that Mortimer's Kisses to deal a ton of solo killing on the Zeus. It was just unfortunate that they really just couldn't do anything. Or they actually did a lot of things with Mr. Zilach. Zilach does get that tower pushing down, he gets it initiate down, he has the magic damage down, and he performed his role to aplomb, but winning the mid lane and immediately transitioning very quickly towards the map. So good work for Mr. Zilach. As for the honorable mention MVP on the side of Team Kick, I have to give this to not you. I'll give it to Mr. Empas just for being able to land some pretty good Echo Slams, I'd say, and that's it, really. So this game is done. Penn Island move on to the semifinals, but only one more team awaits Penn Island. Can they win it all this Battle Cup? So coming up in about a couple of minutes or so, I am Aaron Zero, and have a good day.